Howdy and welcome back. Today we got a fairly simple job. Just want to do resoling these Iron Rangers. These are, if I can read the tag, 8111s. You probably won't be able to see it, but because it's all worn. But we're going to be doing the Neo Cork soles. We're going to change the heels around. These aren't what originally comes on the heel, so we'll do the original heels. And then just a general clean and condition and bring the uppers back so this customer can wear them again. So let's get started. Alrighty. I could tell someone put new heels on here for a couple reasons. One, like I said, the Iron Rangers don't typically come with these heels. And whoever did this before glued the heel on, which from the manufacturer, it's just held on by these nails, which seems like it's not a good idea, but they hold just fine. When you combine the two nails and glue, and you have such a good bond that you have issues getting them off. There we go. And we're just gonna go through and cut the threads. Be careful not to hit that welt. The welt is what the sole gets stitched to. There's the old soles. Should take these off. We gotta clean up the insides, probably re-glue everything. I think I'm definitely gonna replace this heel rand. The heel rand is that back piece. They use paper, so I like to use. I'll replace it with the leather piece. This is just because the welt goes from here all the way around and stops here, so that from the side this kind of goes right here and continues that layer all the way around. But they don't stitch it. They just nail the back end. What? I don't know what that is. I think someone might have nailed this from the inside. I don't think you're supposed to do that. Not with these styles. With the Iron Rangers, they normally just nail them from the top down and cover up that back section right there with a piece of leather so that you don't feel the nails. But then we run into the next stage. If I can find my tool. Removing the cork. The cork is just a filler on the inside of the shoe. It also provides, I guess, a cushion, and it'll mold to your foot as well. And over time, it starts to just fall apart. Not super fast, but it's a good idea to replace that. So you can put new cork in there, and it'll cushion your foot like it's supposed to. Alrighty, now we're gonna go and remove the old stitching, the old welt stitches, which is what held the sole to the welt. So this is a little attachment that goes on the ends of our finishers. It's called I guess a stitch picker, you can call it. when you turn it on, it's not sharp, but those little pieces grab and pull those stitches out. A lot of times they don't work like this, but sometimes you get lucky. I don't think this one, we're not going to get lucky with this one, unfortunately. Yeah, they're just so old. Kind of stuck in there. Alrighty, I guess we gotta hand pick them. That sucks. Sometimes when those don't want to come out, you gotta go back in and pick them one at a time. Because you don't want these coming, you don't want these when you go stitch new soles on. That's not good to have those old ones still in there, double and triple stitched on there. You end up ruining the welt, because when we go to stitch the new soles on, we try our best to adjust the machine to stitch in the right stitch length and in the right depth, so that we hit all the old holes. We don't always hit the old holes, but we can get like 75 to 85% of it. And with those, if you leave the old stitches in, basically just kind of cheese grate the leather, and that weakens the welt. And when that's weak and eventually falls off, which it will do, then the sole will fall off, and all this work will be for nothing. You'll have to go back, take the soles back off, replace the welt, which is more work, more time. So just do it right the first time, and you won't have to do more work. You won't cause more work for yourself in the future. That is kind of the key for everything. Whenever you're doing anything, make sure you do it right the first time, because if not, you're just going to cause more work for yourself in the future in life. That took me a little bit to learn. I had to learn that one the hard way a couple times before I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to stop causing myself more work. Yes, it sucks doing it right the first time. Sometimes. Like it's maybe extra work or whatever the case is. Sometimes you think it's easier to take shortcuts. But like I said, it never really works out. So I'm going to pick the rest of these. And then we got to, you see this? That's the footbed, and it's coming out. So we got to glue this footbed back into place. And then we'll be ready to put the shank back in, the cork in. We'll remake this heel rand. And we'll be ready for the soles. We got our new cork in, our heel rand in place. We put the shank back in. Now it's time for the soles to get stuck on. Just gonna make sure it's centered properly. I mean, with these soles, it's just plain, so you don't really have to center it for a logo, but you just want to make sure it fits the shoe and it's not off in the back or not. So we'll trim it, we'll stitch it, and then ready for the heels. Here we have the soles on. We have a groove, so the stitching is countersunk, and we are going to be stitching the soles. Remember, this is a 270 degree, so it's going to go from one ankle bone all the way around the shoe to the other side of the ankle bone, and then we're going to nail the back end. Okay, this is the right heel that's supposed to go on these. So I'm going to, we marked out where the heel is going to sit. I cut this excess thread. Make sure that my piece is out. Sometimes I forget that little sock liner, the heel pad, and I'll nail through it and I'll have to replace it. And it's not fun, so I just like to double check before I go nailing the back. Alright, now the manufacturer does not use glue on their heels, and there's no issue with that. They hold just fine. I personally like to put just a little bit of glue on there. It's overkilling it, but I'd rather overkill it than risk it coming back to me. So, while we did that one, we got these ones ready to put heels on. So, I'm just gonna line up everything up and make sure it's centered in the back. Now, the reason the manufacturer just nails the heels is because there's washers inside of this heel. So you see all those holes? There's metal washers that are built into the mold. So when you put the nail in and you countersink it, then those nails hold it firmly to the footbed and to the soles, and it's just, they don't have any issues coming out. So you just got to put nails in all of those holes, do a final trim, put some conditioner on there, and then we are done. Just a fairly simple job. I know there's a lot of different sole jobs and ideas out there that we've done and that we can do. Just thought I'd show you guys something fairly simple. Just this customer wanted to go back to the way they were, so we got the soles trimmed, stitched, those heels are on. We're going to trim the back part of that heel rand. Basically, when the leather gets sanded, trimmed, it kind of creates a little bead along the top, along the edge. So we have to take this and cut it, and then we'll just take a small little, because you see, it's hard to tell, but we'll just go ahead and trim up that top piece, just so it's all nice and neat looking, and blow it off. Last step is to do some conditioner, which I'm going to be using Blackrock. This stuff works wonders on pretty much all leathers. You see the toe, it's all faded. And just a little bit will go a super long way. It works to bring back all of the original color, any fading in the leather. And you could do this on pretty much any color leather and it'll work. Just can't use it on suede, because then it'll It'll turn it almost like a smooth leather. Just it'll mat it all down. And then after we buff it off, see, it'll all look good. Okay, and we are all done with these Iron Rangers. The new soles is a Neo. It's a Neo. I think these are called the Neo cork sole. It's a rubber, and all those little light brown spots are like cork, so it's infused into the rubber sole. I think it just adds some more comfort and durability. So let me show you guys. These were the old soles and the new soles. And you could see on the old sole back here where the heel was, the stitches are kind of almost on top of the rubber, which is why they broke so fast. Where you can see mine are countersunk into the sole, so that when you wear them, you wear the rubber and not the stitching. So I just wanted to show you guys this fairly simple Resole Redwing Iron Ranger 8111s, brown Neo cork soles, and those Redwing heels. If you guys want to get yourself a bottle of this Blackrock, I'll put a link in the description below. Thank you guys for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Until next time, God bless y'all.